Good morning, YouTube land. How are you doing? Welcome to Saturday Cerael. Yes, buddy, I know you're here. You're not the co-host, though, so let me bring the co-host in of the show, the awesome Deleted Scenes. Stephen, how are you doing, mate?
Good morning. I am doing
Oh,
well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm feeling festive. You tell.
Right on, right on.
Okay, right. I've got to deal with somebody first, quickly. Otherwise, he's going to be stealing the show.
Well, of course.
There we go. Right. The
He's
beast is
gone
now occupied.
Hollywood.
Oh, right. So, yeah, I got my coffee. I'll let you go, Stephen. I'll let you go first. How has your week been, my good sir?
My week was much better than last week, and I'm certainly feeling better than I did last week, and I think most people are too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we all need to be starting to feel better, don't we? Recently, because it's getting close to Christmas. So,
Indeed.
let's get the good cheer going. I think and that's the best way to do it.
And
Get my necklace out so Julie can see it. So.
Right on.
Yeah, me and Julie have matching necklaces. Did you know?
Oh, cool.
How sad are we? It's like Captain Planet. Except we haven't got rings. I don't know. That was a pretty obscure reference. So I don't know how many people who remember Captain Planet out there.
I
do.
Remember? I'm old enough to remember Captain Planet.
See, I remember Captain Planet. It was awesome. Captain Planet, he's the hero. Gonna take pollution down to zero. Yeah, I remember Captain Planet.
Now, the one that will really bake everyone's noodles. Who remembers Captain Power?
Captain Power.
Yeah.
I remember Captain Power, but I don't. Oh, but it's very vague memory. That one is. When did Captain Power come out? Like, when was that?
It was like late 80s, maybe early 90s.
Yeah.
It was
wasn't it
Canadian produced.
Was there a toy line for that?
If there was, it was minimal. If it was, it was something that didn't really catch on. I think it was only on for like a season or two.
Yeah, it's ringing a bell. Like Captain Power, it's ringing a bell. But I don't remember if I actually watched it though. That's the thing. I'm just wondering if it's my brain going like, "You've heard that name," but yeah.
I'll have to look that up on IMDb before the end of the show. Maybe we can.
Yeah, we'll pull that one up.
A little more information on it. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Okay, right. And so at the end of the show, we're going to have an education on Captain Power. There we go. Nice.
A couple of things before we go on. As those of you in the audience may have heard, overnight there were a series of tornadoes that touched down in 6 states in the Midwest United States. And we want everyone out there who may be listening to know that you are in our thoughts. And we hope that everyone is safe out there. And
yeah,
this is not really the time of year that this normally happens. But
it's a very freak incident. It was
very indeed. Yeah.
And yeah, our thoughts and prayers to with everybody out there who was in the path of that storm. Yeah, with the storm network that happened. Because I know Julie, my girlfriend, she's Midwest based, and she had the sirens going off last night. So yeah, it was quite hair raising for me. I mean, Julie, bless her, being a Midwesterner, she said to me last night, she says, "Until I see flying cows, I'm not going to worry."
Yeah, that's
like, fair enough.
You see the flying cows, you know you're in trouble.
That's it. Like, if you got a daisy flying past your window, like, then I'd get to the shelter. But because we all love that film. We all love Twister. Twister's a great film. Like, Bill Paxton, legend. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, B-Pax. It was never game over.
Mm-hmm. What was it? What was her name? Helen Hunt. That was it, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The female lead in that. So like,
Yes.
where that was the only thing about the film which made me just obviously when you watch it. I mean, because I watched that when I was younger at the cinema and I loved it. It got me into tornadoes and storms and like it actually got me interested in the weather. So I started studying meteorology and stuff like that in my own time. And I it's one of my bucket list things is to actually chase a tornado. I know it sounds crazy, but I would love to go on a tornado chase. But yeah, and I probably think is watching Twister back as an adult. The story, if you really think about it, like Helen Hunt's character, the way that she treats tornadoes is as if like the tornado is like some sort of slasher villain. It's kind of like Jaws, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the F5 is is Jaws, like you know what I mean? So,
Right.
which I think is like kind of like one of those things. Like, I mean, I know, yeah, okay, like a tornado killed your dad, like you know when you were a kid, and you know that's it. But I don't know. It's the Hollywood element, isn't it, where they turn something like a force of nature into like you know a monster.
It's personal now, you know.
That's it. Like
Yeah.
this time so, but
Yeah.
another good tornado film, actually, talking about
Mm.
tornadoes, I watched, which is called Into the Storm. Which is again not massive film, but the way that they tell it is really smart. It's like part done like found footage, part done like cinematic. So it kind of mixes the two, kind of like District 9 does. You know, District 9 mixes cinematic with
Yeah.
like the documentary style, like because Into the Storm follows like different groups of people. So you follow a group of storm chasers, you follow a teacher at like a high school sort of thing. You follow a couple of teenagers who are like at the high school and stuff like that, and it's like these separate stories, but they're being told like through their camera phones and whatever else and stuff. But then it has some cinematic elements and stuff, and obviously the documentary style for the storm chasers and stuff. And the way all the stories connect and things like that is like really good. Actually, I was quite surprised by it. Like I was like, it's not like a superb film, like you know, but it's if you know, as far as
it's fun. I liked it as well.
yeah, you know, as far as films about like the weather go, it's like it's very well done, I thought. And the storm chaser thing, like the car that they have in it, like that is actually based on one of the real storm chasing cars called Dominator. A storm chaser called Reed Timmer. He drives that. He's part of his team, like the Dominator team, and it's the car that can drive into a tornado and just lock it down, like you know what I mean. And they can sit inside of a tornado, like basically, it's insane. There was a cool series on, I think it was Discovery, about storm chasers. It used to be on, but you can watch episodes on YouTube now. Actually, full episodes on YouTube. I think it's on Reed's channel. Actually, Reed Timmer. Check him out. There you go. Sorry. Anyway, that was a bit of a tangent on tornadoes, wasn't it? That.
I always kind of wanted to see a movie based on hail. I don't know if you remember that. It was I think it was the year Mike Myers hosted the MTV Awards. Where they used to have the movie parodies. And his parody of Twister was Hail.
Hail.
With him as all of the characters.
Oh, God.
I am Johan van der Hoven, and I am the director of Hail. It was so hilarious.
So,
I mean, we can't show that clip because they'd probably hit us for that, but that's a funny one.
Oh, we'd be smashed with the copyright slap, you know, for that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. YouTube are getting worse for it at the moment. Like, oh, you know something actually. Talking of copyright, yeah. I'm doing the Christmas dad joke thing, like at the moment, Advent thing, right? I got 2 copyright strikes.
How?
I got 2 copyright strikes. Yeah, on my bloody Advent videos. I was like, hold on a minute, what? It's for the music that I have playing over the background. Because I purchased that song. I actually bought that song. Like I bought the license to it, and I had the same problem last year. Like they hit me with it. Like I was just like, "Why are you copyright claiming my videos?" Like you know what I mean? And then it's like, right, there's my bloody license. Like, same thing again. I was just like, do you not realize like I'm the same person as I was last year? It's like I should be on your records of being the person who holds the license to this song. So it's just like, ugh. I hate copyright. I really do. Although is there, to help, keep everybody's, work safe and stuff like that. So yes, okay. I hate it, but I love it at the same time. It's a love-hate relationship. There we Oh dear. I don't even know why. I don't. I just.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know why I did. Why I went off on that tangent. So yeah. Anyway, I think. Have you got anything? Have you got any other things you'd like to throw in before we get into this week's movie and entertainment news?
Aaron Sorkin asked me to get on with the show, so that's what we're going to do.
Aaron Sorkin, if you've got any requests for me, yeah, I'm you know, I think I'm 5G ready now and stuff, so you can just email, just send me a private message, DM me, find me on Twitter, and I'll send out a message for you, my friend. Okay, so let's get into the movie news. All right then, so.
And of course, good morning, Julie.
Julie's here. That's my beautiful lady. Hello, baby. Talking to Julie, actually. I did another vlog video this week. Sent her a Christmas card. Check that out, people. And as because Julie's here, she missed it last week. So here you are, baby. This one's for you.
Peppy, what the fuck are you doing?
As that is Julie's cat right there, and that was a clip from a video that Julie is actually on Julie's channel. So yeah. So yeah, yes, we know you like that one, baby. Right. Okay. I'm gonna get on with the show now. Are we ready? Okay. We haven't got any more requests from any celebrities, have we?
We are ready.
Okay, right then. So, right, concept. Just do a quick, brief rundown of the concept of the show. So, yes, if you are first time watching us here at Saturday Cerael, what we do is we go on to Google, we type in movie news, and we hit the filters to the past week, and then we slap that refresh button and see what the hell is going on in the world of movies. So, here we go. Boom. This is this week's headlines according to Google. So let's get stuck in, shall we? Hopefully we've got a fun week this week. Otherwise, we might have to rely on our friend Greg over at Rotten Tomatoes again. Thank you, Greg. Okay, so let's hit the top headline then. So first headline on the top of this week's Google movie news is Christmas movie production snowballs to reach a new record. Okay, this is a BBC article. If you have a story suggestion, email. Oh, okay. Okay. So I'm guessing that looks like it could be Idris Elba in that picture. If it's BBC, I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, okay. So no idea what movie that is. So let's roll on to the next one. Next story. Enemy have got an article saying record number of Christmas films to be released in 2021. So Brandon Gray, co-host of the Deck the Hallmark podcast and one of the authors of the new book called I'll Be Home for Christmas Movies, told the BBC News something. So, okay, that's interesting. I must admit, though, that reading that, you don't see Christmas films like you used to. You know what I mean? I remember back when I was younger, it was there'd be about 6 or 7 Christmas films out, Christmas themed films out coming around Christmas season, But now it's I think the last Christmas film I saw in theaters, obviously because of 2020, was it Last Christmas? It's called. I saw it was 2019 that came out with the girl from Game of Thrones. What's her name? Emilia Clarke. And Henry Golding. Golding, is it Golding? It's Golding, isn't it? I think Golding. The guy who Snake Eyes. So yeah, and I watched that, and it was as far as Christmas romantic comedies go, it was okay, what I mean. But it's really, I gave it 2 stars because the best performance in it for me was Emma Thompson. She was playing a Polish mom sort of thing, and she was great. She was absolutely hilarious. So yeah, okay then. We might have a look. We might have a peek at that then, because I'm curious about because the record number. Interesting. Okay then. So Next, we've got entertainment.ie, and we've got the best Christmas movies across every genre. Okay, so good news, everybody. We have now entered the Christmas movie zone. That means it's not a criminal offense to watch a festive flick anymore. So crack open. Okay, right. Okay, so that's going to be a list of the best Christmas films across every genre. So okay then, all right. So. Next, okay, this is probably the one we'll take a look at. We've got Rotten Tomatoes. So Florence Pugh and Rami Malek join Christopher Nolan's going to be joining Oppenheimer. It looks like. God, that cast list just keeps going and going.
This cast just keeps getting. Pretty soon, everyone will literally be in this movie.
I know. Yeah, it's going to become like Spider-Man, like No Way Home, isn't it? Like it's like who isn't in this?
We already have Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, and Robert Downey Jr. And now we have Florence Pugh and Rami Malek, and if I'm looking correctly, jumping ahead to the next story, apparently Benny Safdie as well. So,
jeez Louise, that's okay. Yeah. So all right. So we'll probably come back to the Rotten Tomatoes because Greg always serves us well. So yeah. Next article, Hollywood Reporter. This is again about the Oppenheimer thing. Because again, I've got to say, Florence Pugh. I didn't really know much of her because obviously she was in Midsummer. That's where I knew her from. And like that's a great film. Midsummer is. And
it is obviously not a great film, but okay.
What, Midsummer?
Midsummer. Yeah, I was not a fan personally, but I thought she was the best part of it.
So I liked it because it's like it kind of reminded me of The Wicker Man, but like on a different. Page sort of thing, and I kind of like the old. I liked. I like the way that they used the drug inducing and like the way that they did use the visuals there and stuff. I thought I mean, again, not the best film by I can't remember the director's name. Who did Hereditary? This is the one we did before that.
Ari Aster.
Yes, it's Ari Aster. Yes, that's it. Because he's great, and yeah, I mean, Midsummer was a step down compared to Hereditary. It still had those shocking moments in it, but it wasn't as good as Hereditary story wise, I'd say. But like I saying, after that though, Florence Pugh, the next time I saw her was or really knew of what she was doing, because I'm not really a big TV person. Was Black Widow. And again, I thought that she was probably one of the better parts of the film, because she was like, I kind of liked the character. She was like likable because the way she was just taking the piss out of, the superheroes and stuff. Like I thought it was quite fun. And she just appeared. Spoiler alert: she just appeared in Hawkeye, the last episode of Hawkeye, which I have been watching and I have been enjoying. I know loads of people are saying it's boring and dull and it's the worst MCU series thing, whatever. But I like the character of Hawkeye, so it's actually a show that I kind of like. So I mean, like, so she's a good, and like, what I've seen her do, her abilities. Yeah, I reckon that's another great addition to this cast list. And then the next one, Rami Malek. I mean, Christ Almighty, he is like he's a great actor, Rami Malek. I don't know what it is about him. There's just he's very. You get drawn into his performances, really. I mean, even in like James Bond, No Time to Die. I mean, I know he plays like a bit of an over the top sort of villain, like, but he's really good. Like, he really like sinister, and I don't know. I like Rami Malek. There's something about that dude. Like, and like you say, Benny Safdie as well. Another one as well. I mean, this looks like it's going to be the best cast for like a biopic ever, I think. So yeah, I mean, like the next article, which is filmnews.co.uk, same thing again. Announcement of Florence Pugh and Rami Malek joining Oppenheimer. Okay, and then next article. Okay, we've got two in a row there from filmnews.co.uk. Plans in place for Sonic 3 already. So they're going to make Sonic a trilogy. The trailer for Sonic 2 actually dropped this week, and I wish I could play it because it looks awesome if you're a Sonic fan anyway. So yeah, okay, I'm not surprised they're going to turn that into a trilogy, I'll be honest. Okay, all right. So Sky News are still talking about the Alec Baldwin incident. Let's not. Global news: West Side Story movie review. Spielberg remake a musical masterpiece. I've heard mixed things about West Side Story.
I saw it on Thursday night,
What did you reckon?
and I highly recommend it.
Oh yeah.
It does have a few issues.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple of sequences where I think they kind of overcook the what would be maybe considered toxic masculinity.
Okay, yeah.
Um,
It's period set though, isn't it?
It yes, that's what is good about it. Is it is period set in the early '60s as this part of the city is being torn down around the characters to it's the area of San Juan Hill, which got regentrified, and they put up the Lincoln Center in its place.
Okay.
And that's going on around the fringes of the story, and which makes everything all the more tragic because you have these two warring factions between which is essentially an Irish gang against the Puerto Ricans.
Okay.
And
Yes. Yeah.
they're so wrapped up in their own conflict that they don't realize that they're going to lose the neighborhood anyway. So it's kind of like, what are you fighting for?
Okay.
You're going to lose what you're fighting for. Which makes everything that happens in the movie to begin with all that more kind of heartbreaking and tragic. But it's not just that. If you loved the original movie, it improves on certain things. It falls off in some others. Some of the songs get repurposed and have different characters sing them, and that doesn't always work. But on the whole, I think it's one of the better movies this year. It's going to be very high on my list.
Did you reckon it's a bit Oscar bait or?
It's definitely going to get nominated for Best Picture. I believe it will.
Spielberg, isn't it? You know,
I think it deserves it. This is Spielberg's best movie, in my opinion, since Munich.
Oh, okay.
Or at the very least, since Bridge of Spies. But I liked Munich better. So this is his best movie since Munich, in my opinion.
Oh. Munich won Eric Bana, wasn't it? The guy who was in Hulk.
Yeah, he was in Munich. Yes.
Yeah, I thought I remember that. Like, good film. Yeah, very good film.
Very good. Also, Daniel Craig and before he was Bond, and Jeffrey Rush. Yeah.
Yes. Again,
Kieran Hines.
So worth checking out there, people. Like, it's a few years old now. Like, but definitely worth a look. Definitely worth a look. So so that's a recommendation for you then on West Side Story then, yeah.
Absolutely. It's like because they're, and I've brought this up before with In the Heights. Yes. With the poor marketing, the dare I say it, woke marketing, and they kind of did the same thing here.
Terrible marketing campaign that was.
Again,
I haven't seen much for this either.
No, Thursday night's numbers were not good. But I am recommending this movie. Ignore the marketing. Go in, see it for yourself. Go back and watch the original, and compare the two. And just like everybody out there in the viewing public, go see this movie and decide for yourself. Don't let anybody decide for you.
That's it. Exactly. That's it. Critics are not there to tell you what to do. They're just there to help you make an educated choice. That's all. But sometimes the critics aren't always right. And we know this. Okay, so recommended West Side Story there. So there we go. Right then, let's roll on to the next one then. Okay, final one on today's front page of Google's movie news is a Sky News article saying Jennifer Lawrence explains how losing a tooth became a personal challenge on new film Don't Look Up. God. Jennifer Lawrence. I don't really care. So I'll be honest.
All I've heard about this movie, aside from that brief little teaser trailer, is how difficult this movie was to make for Jennifer Lawrence. Plus, it's on Netflix. 2 strikes against it right away, as far as I'm concerned.
It's a Netflix one. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Like I say, Jennifer Lawrence, she just annoys me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And she didn't used to. That was the thing.
Yeah, when she first started out, she was cool. Like, I kind of like, I was like, oh, up and coming, new starlet here, like, and then I don't know, the fame kind of seemed to go to her head, man. And she started becoming a bit of a bitch.
And understand, everybody, we are not like crapping on Jennifer Lawrence.
No,
not. But because there is the possibility that the press may be overplaying certain things that she said, like, but and you see, you do have to take it with a grain of salt. But like I said, again, marketing. You have actors telling us about themselves; they're not telling us about the movie.
Yeah, it's like, I don't care about how that.
What is the movie about? Like, I don't know. You're not telling me. That's
just the narcissistic personalities that come with actors, like, unfortunately. I know I am an actor. Right, anyway, that's enough of calling myself a narcissist. And right, and so let's so I guess okay then, so interesting like headlines this week. So I think the best thing that we can do is go and have a look at Rotten Tomatoes. Shall we do that then?
Indeed.
All right, then let's rock and roll with some Rotten Tomatoes. Is it going to ask me to do things? Probably. Right, here we go. Let's zoom it in. Zoom in. Come on, zoom in. Zoom in. Oh, it's being a bit slow. I'm loading things. Okay, here we go. There we are. Okie dokie. So we are on Rotten Tomatoes for their weekly catch-up, which is normally a good fail-safe for us. And it's always published by a lovely gentleman called Greg Dean. Put my mouth back together. Greg Dean Schmidt. So yeah, thank you very much, Greg. We do appreciate you giving us this to talk about. So anyway, let's have a look at the headlines, shall we? Headline on Weekly Catch-Up this week is Florence Pugh and Rami Malek join Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, and more movie news. A Shang-Chi sequel is on the way. Disney Animation announces a new film and new projects from Tom Holland, Dave Bautista, Will Ferrell, and Jamie Foxx. Okay, so let's have a look. So the top one, I'm guessing this week, is going to be the Oppenheimer thing. So anyway, this week's catch-up brings you more headlines from the world of film development news, covering such titles as Oppenheimer, Shang-Chi 2, and Disney's Strange World. Okay, let's have a look. So this week's top story: Florence Pugh and Rami Malek join Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. All right, okay. Okay, so there's our two actors there. The Florence Pugh and Rami Malek, looking terrifyingly creepy. Okay. Right then, let's have a read. So, ever since it was first announced in September as the next film from director Christopher Nolan, one of the few things that was known about this atomic bomb biopic, Oppenheimer, was that it would feature an ensemble cast. That initial story was followed in October by the casting of Cillian Murphy as J. Robert Oppenheimer and Emily Blunt as Oppenheimer's wife. And in November, by the casting of both Matt Damon and Robert Downey Jr. in supporting roles. The casting process continues this month with the additions of Florence Pugh, famous for Midsommar and Black Widow, and Rami Malek, from famous for Bohemian Rhapsody and No Time to Die. And what's that other one? Mr. Robot. Great show.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so... And Benny Safdie as well from Licorice Pizza. Pugh will depict Jean Tatlock, a psychiatrist and member of the Communist Party with whom Oppenheimer had a romantic affair. Safdie has been cast as Hungarian physicist and the father of the hydrogen bomb, Edward Teller. And Rami Malek has been cast as an unspecified scientist. Universal Pictures won the rights to distribute Oppenheimer following an active bidding war with other studios and has scheduled the film for release on July 21st, 2023, around the time of the late summer when many of Nolan's previous films were also released. So it's a regular release date for Nolan. Well, interesting. So Rami Malek is specified. That's interesting. And so we've got Safdie is playing Edward Teller. That's quite a key role there. Okay. So, and Florence Pugh is playing what was that? Jean Tatlock. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. We shall see.
So, again, I mean, they can't really give us too much about the story because it's a biopic, isn't it? I mean, we already kind of know what the story is there. But yeah, I'm very curious now about what the next announcements will be. If they're gonna, can they fit any more in this? This is where now that like next week they announced that Tom Holland has been cast as the H-bomb. He's small enough. So anyway, just pack him into a little thing, like just pops his head out, like hello.
You can't blow me up. It's not in my contract. And Mr. Stark would be very upset.
Yeah, he comes out and says, like, spoiler alert.
Well, Robert Downey Jr. is in the movie, so why not?
Yeah, that's it. He pops out and just goes, Mr. Stark!
Mr. Stark!
That's it. I probably shouldn't say the word bomb too much live on the internet because I'm
probably not.
FBI, it wasn't me. Okay, so right, okay, so so that's I'm excited for this. I am excited for this purely on the cast alone, like and obviously it's Christopher Nolan and he's the guy's got a good eye for cinematics for sure. Yeah, okay, right then. So anything to say about that then, Stephen?
Nope, I think we've said enough on this one.
Right then, rock and roll. Let's move on. So, over the top headlines. Number 1. A Shang-Chi sequel is officially in the works. Why is this not surprising? Okay, so as 2021 nears its end, there have been 5 Marvel feature films. 2 of those were Sony productions, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, which wasn't really great, and next week's Spider-Man No Way Home, which is, I reckon, a bit overhyped now. And the 3 solely Marvel studio productions were Black Widow, which was okay, Eternals, which I still haven't bothered to watch, and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which was okay as well. Given the world-building conceit inherent in pretty much all MCU films, one might have expected sequels to be quickly developed for all 3 of those films. But as of this week, of those 3, it's only Shang-Chi that now has a sequel officially in development. Destin Daniel Cretton, who directed and co-wrote the first film, has entered into a multi-year deal with Marvel Studios and Hulu. Includes the Shang-Chi sequel, which Cretton will both write and direct. Also included in the deal is an MCU series for Disney+. But it's not yet known if that show will be directly related to Shang-Chi. No official casting has been announced for the Shang-Chi sequel, but stars Simu Liu, who played Shang-Chi, Awkwafina, who played Katie, and Mengge Zhang, who played Zai Ling, are all presumed to likely return, given how obviously central to the story they are, of course. Anyway, Marvel Studios has not yet announced a release date for Shang-Chi sequel, but it's unlikely to be anytime before 2024. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, the way it ended, it was inevitable. I mean, obviously, we had the post-credit stinger, which is obviously the connecting thing with the whole 10 rings, and you had, spoilers, sorry, Banner show up and, sorry, Brie Larson. I just can't say it without, just getting that bit of phlegmy shit at the back of my throat. Pauses. Think about it.
Okay.
So yeah,
okay.
and then
I'm fine. I'm sorry. It's
okay. Mid-credits thing as well. For them, which, well, I say at mid-credits, it was kind of like end of the film thing, wasn't it? Where it showed you Xiling has taken over the Ten Rings organization. And obviously, it was a big step into that like elder god territory as well with Shang-Chi. Kind of like how Doctor Strange did it with Dormammu. We had it with that the Beast in Shang-Chi, kind of like one of those elder god sort of things, isn't it? Like and the Great Protector, who's the big white dragon thing. Like what was it called in the comics? That thing. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah,
I don't remember.
They changed it because apparently it was racist. So I'll watch it. I mean, I can't see Eternals getting a sequel, to be honest. I reckon that they'll probably just integrate them now into other things like the Black Knight and stuff like that. Because obviously Kit Harington's going to get his Black Knight film, because they've already announced that they're going to be doing that, and and obviously we've got the whole sort of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 thing. I mean, because obviously Guardians deal with Celestials and things as well, and we're going to have Adam Warlock showing up in the next one apparently. So yeah, I don't know. Marvel just doesn't really get me that excited that much these days. So yeah, anything to say on that one, Stephen?
No, not really. The fact that it's getting a sequel, like we said, that was inevitable. That's not a surprise. As far as the Shang-Chi, I did see it. Thought it was fine. It didn't exactly blow my skirt up, so to speak.
Yeah.
I liked the father-son story. I liked the fantasy kung fu kind of wuxia, I guess, angle to it, which I wish they had just stuck with that. And that Marvel sense of humor that does not work for me as the films go on. Whatever the hell that rabbit chicken thing was. Why was Ben Kingsley in this movie?
The return of Trevor Slattery. Yeah.
Nothing against him. Hey, Ben Kingsley, great. More power to you. Please show up in more movies. I just don't think he should have been in this one.
Yeah.
Ben Kingsley. I had a real problem with that end credit scene. That should have been Strange. You have Captain Marvel and Bruce Banner show up for 30 seconds just to say, "Oh, we don't know what's going on," and then why are you here?
Yeah, it's like that was completely unnecessary, really.
Now, in all fairness, Destin Daniel Cretton, who's the director of this film, directed a movie earlier on in his career that starred Brie Larson. So I'm not surprised that she showed up. I just don't like that she showed up where she did.
Yeah.
Like,
I actually saw.
It's like I don't blame her for grabbing a day's work, getting a paycheck, but
yeah, exactly. Like it probably
could
helped
give her
pay for some more chai lattes for her.
Just to come on and say, I do not know what is going on.
Yeah,
for fuck's sake, then why are you here?
Yeah. And
anyway,
she was wearing a really terrible wig as well in that scene.
Yeah.
It was like it didn't look good. No. But talking of Marvel, Miss Marvel as well, and Captain Marvel. I saw a great meme the other day. It was a picture of like someone saying Hawkeye, like, and it was like, "Oh, I'm the lowest rated, I'm the lowest rated Marvel series. I'm the lowest rated Marvel series," and then it had below it a picture of Miss Marvel, like just going, "Yeah, as it so far."
Yeah.
Like, oh damn! It's like, yeah, who really cares about the Captain Marvel story? Like, I mean, it wasn't popular in the comic run, so she's just an OP character, like, and it's just boring.
Yeah.
And they chose like one of the most uncharismatic actresses ever to play her. And it's like, yeah, great choice, Marvel. Anyway, so anything you want to add on the end of that, or should we roll on?
Katie Sackhoff should have been Captain Marvel. Moving on.
Agreed. Okay, moving on. So, number 2 on this week's Rotten Tomatoes Weekly Catch-Up, we've got number 2, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse to be split into 2 parts. I see. This is again another trailer that dropped. I haven't watched it yet myself, so I'm not too sure.
So is this going to be a series or a film?
It's a film. Because you had Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse, which was the first animated one, which came out 2019. That was, and this is the sequel to that now. But because of what they're doing with the Spider-Verse and like the films and everything like that, the live action films, this actually connects to it apparently, because they actually slapped the stinger for this on the end of Venom. The first Venom film, they gave you the end credits thing was this Enter the Spider-Verse thing, like. So I don't know. I'm curious. I don't know what Sony and Marvel have actually got planned with this whole Spider-Verse thing, because it's kind of a big thing to do between 2 big studios like that, and I don't know how they're gonna split it well, because like the characters are so divided between 2 studios, like like you got like Morbius and everything like that's being done through Sony, and then like there are certain characters that Marvel are doing things with that belong in the Spider-Verse as well, and I don't know, man, messy. So anyway, let's have a read. So okay, following the critical and box office success of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Sony Pictures was quick to start development on a sequel, which was subsequently scheduled for release on October 7th, 2022. This week, with Spider-Man No Way Home just a week away from release, Sony released a first look at the sequel, which included an early scene and some action with Spider-Man 2099, being played by Oscar Isaac. Voiced by Oscar Isaac, sorry. So yeah, part of the reveal was that the official title will be Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, which means that there will actually be 2 films to come, presumably completing a trilogy with the first film. Shamik Moore and Haley Steinfeld, also Marvel's Kate Bishop on Hawkeye, are both returning as the voices of Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy. And it's not yet known what other characters or alternate spider heroes will be returning or introduced in the second film, besides Oscar Isaac as Spider-Man 2099, who was actually first teased in the first film's post-credit scene. So Sony Pictures has not yet announced a release date for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 2, but sometime in late 2023 might be a likely target date. Okay, so more animated Spider-Man.
Yeah, we got a lot to unpack with this one. We got, obviously, Hawkeye is now going to tie into this with the casting of Haley Steinfeld. Oscar Isaac is always a win. Maybe not in Star Wars, but he's usually a win, especially when they actually let him act.
This is why I'm looking forward to Moon Knight.
He is great in Dune. He's great in Dune.
Oh yeah, Dune, brilliant. Ex Machina as well. That's a great film.
Ex Machina.
He was, even though he had a small role in it, he was pretty good in Annihilation as well. With Natalie Portman, he played her husband, who kind of came back from the shimmer, and he was all messed up and stuff.
I'm
sorry,
go ahead. I'm very interested in seeing how this is going to fit into the overall narrative, because obviously you're going to have Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Tom Hardy's Venom meet.
Yes, that
You
is inevitable
have
now because of the end credits for Venom: Let There Be Carnage.
right. You've got Morbius that you're now having to throw into the mix.
Yep, because Vulture has
Morbius
crossed over to there.
not only potentially being Sinister Six related, but he's the living vampire. So you got to think that Morbius and Blade are going to meet at some point.
Oh God,
and how is that
it's the
going
perfect
to work
in for
out?
Blade, isn't it? Really now, that is.
Yeah. So and I'm wondering now, will Blade be the end credit scene of Morbius?
Ooh, that I would not be surprised. I'll be honest. If that happens, I wouldn't be surprised, because it's a perfect way to introduce a character like Blade. It's like tag him on the end of the other Marvel big vampire, like Morbius. But yeah, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
Spider-Man: No Way Home and Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness are going to be the films that are going to define the MCU going forwards, I think, because of this whole multiverse thing now. I mean, I could sit here with you, like, we could sit here and we could predict loads of stuff, but I really think that Marvel are going to throw some curveballs at us once they open up this multiverse. So, because obviously, looking at Vulture showing up in the Morbius film, but if you look at the Morbius trailer, where the universe where that's set is different to the MCU, but Vulture is the same character from the MCU in the Venomverse, because the Morbius universe exists in the Venom universe. Do you know what I mean? Because there was a shot of the Oscorp Tower and stuff in the Morbius trailer. So, this is what I mean. I don't know. I'm
again. We could come up with so many theories, but we don't know what Sony and Marvel have planned.
Exactly.
And I hope they plan it well. I know they're not going to please everybody. These movies are not comic accurate. I get that, but there are some that are better than others. I didn't like Let There Be Carnage.
No,
but that's neither here nor there.
It had some fun.
Morbius looks interesting. This looks interesting. I mean, I'm not going to get into the whole Miles Morales over Peter Parker debate.
Yeah. Oh God, that's a fanboy debate and a half. That one is right there.
I want Miles Morales to stand on his own. But he is too much like Peter Parker.
Yeah, the similarities.
I don't think they should call him Spider-Man. They should make him. He needs to stand alone as his own character.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this movie will do that in some fashion. But I don't know. This is again. This is something that could be a whole other stream, really.
It could be a topic in its own,
Indeed.
But this is the thing, it's like say, when you start messing with multiversal things, possibilities are endless. Possibilities are endless.
I just hope that the movie's good. I hope that Doctor Strange is good. I hope Morbius is good. I hope that Blade is treated in a respectful manner.
Yeah.
Let's
hope that the woke fad starts to disappear off, and they just focus on good storytelling.
I mean, if it's a good story, it could overcome any other problems.
Exactly. Exactly. I just
because how many movies this year rose and fell on the storytelling.
Yeah.
Chris Gore's Film Courage interview. I don't know if you've seen it. It's about 2 hours long. It's like 3 interviews with him edited together.
Oh no, I haven't watched that.
And it's better than half of the movies I've seen this year.
Really?
Because he's basically taking Hollywood to task. For some of the same things that we've been telling them. Is you've got to respect. If it's a franchise, you got to respect the lore. Yep. People don't want to be preached at.
Definitely.
People just want a good story. They go to movies for escape.
Don't go fudging with people's fandoms, basically.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
As a rule, like you're gonna step on some toes. Mm-hmm. But talking of future of the MCU, the next article I think also has some light on that subject too. So, have you got any final thoughts on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
Well, they're building a decent cast. I'm curious to see what they do with Oscar Isaac, but this is up in the air right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is make or break, and it's up to Marvel.
Yep. We shall see what happens with this then. I don't know. I just wanted to say something as well. I don't know if you spotted it, like the interview with Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige when they're sat next to each other. Did you see that?
I did.
Yeah, they look like Wayne and Garth. Do you think? Totally, man. I was like, she's got what the fuck is going on with her hair? I'm sorry.
I think she might have partaken in a certain substance or two prior to the interview.
Yeah, no, someone should tell her that sex toys that have to be plugged into mains sockets are not good for you. Right, anyway.
No.
Right, so that's enough of that. Next. Hold on a second, I've got to play. Oh, it's like,
Peppy, what the fuck are you doing?
Right, yeah, so next. Okay. Next. Number 3. We're only on number 3, man. Okay, here we go. Number 3. Kevin Feige. Wayne. Sorry, anyway. Confirms that Charlie Cox as the MCU's hypothetical Daredevil. Yeah, because this was actually said during that interview that I was just talking about. So, which I think is awesome. I would love to see Charlie Cox come back as Daredevil because I really enjoyed Daredevil. I thought it was quite a really good show. And then The Punisher as well. I really enjoyed that. I liked Luke Cage. I liked Jessica Jones. And what the fuck was Iron Fist all about? Like, that was terrible. But yeah. Okay, so this is just about that announcement, I'm guessing. So yes, fans obviously obsess over every new MCU trailer, but it feels like next week's Spider-Man No Way Home received scrutiny on par with something like Avengers Endgame. That level of attention went so far as to inspire English actor Charlie Cox to announce in September that "those are not my arms," in reference to a scene in which Peter Parker appears to be talking to a lawyer or cop. The reason for the speculation is that Charlie Cox remains best known for his starring role in the Netflix series Marvel's Daredevil. And since Netflix and Marvel parted ways, fans have been anxious to see Cox reprised the character officially in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Whether the Netflix shows are canon to the MCU appears to be an issue of some contention. Marvel Studios chief Kevin Feige was asked directly about Charlie Cox this week, and he gave an answer that was both direct and inconcise in different ways, stating, if you were to see Daredevil in upcoming things, Charlie Cox, yes, would be the actor playing Daredevil. Where we see that, or how we see that, when we see that, remains to be seen. If that appearance is not in Spider-Man No Way Home, another possible scenario could be in the upcoming Disney Plus series She-Hulk, since the titular character is also a lawyer who, in the comics, has faced Cox's Matt Murdock in the courtroom a few times. Well, I, for one, would like to see him return as Daredevil, definitely. But again, this is This is Kevin Feige just, teasing. That's the best way to put it, I think. He's a tease. He's just there going, we are going to see Charlie Cox. Yes, I guess that was it. But it's like where, how, and when remains to be seen. So it's just like, oh, okay, Kevin. Okay. I think he probably is going to show up briefly in No Way Home. I would not be surprised. Even if it's like as a credits stinger or something like that. Like, I don't know. But I've got a funny feeling he's going to make some form of appearance. Or at least a nod to the character. Because obviously, they're both based in New York and stuff. So, yeah. I mean, She-Hulk I'm also very curious about, because I was happy to see the bit of CGI She-Hulk that they showed us from, I was like, yeah, okay. That looks like She-Hulk. That should be good. So, yeah.
And okay. We also have the possibility of John Bernthal returning as the Punisher as well.
Which would be awesome, because, he was great in that role. I mean, he's not... his stature and everything isn't exactly accurate to the comics, because he's not like Punisher's meant to be a big dude. He's like over 6 foot, and Bernthal is the same height as me, 5'11". And so it's but it's his portrayal I thought was savage, like proper savage. And I'd like to see him return. And apparently that there is a strong possibility that he will be pulled back into it. Like, I've heard rumors in the background that if they're going to do a Punisher, Bethnal will be the first person that they approach.
Sure.
Because also, I can't remember the actress who played Jessica Jones. But
Kristen Ritter.
That's it. Yes, she's been said to they'll bring her back as well. I think the only one that they're not going to touch is Iron Fist, so because it was such a failure. As all the other ones went down well. I mean, even Luke Cage went down quite well. It had its fan base and its audience. And that's what kind of thing I liked about the Netflix series is each series was you didn't necessarily have to be a fan of Jessica Jones to be a fan of the Punisher show, and stuff like that. They did exist in the same universe, but it was not too over the top connected, if you know what I mean. I suppose the strongest one for the connections was Daredevil and Punisher. I mean, and the rest of it, they kind of dealt with it in the Defenders series, didn't they? So, and they brought them all together. But anyway, that's me.
And it would be fun just to throw Luke Cage in and then with Blade and just have him do a double take.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a second.
If only they made it R-rated, and they could have a Samuel L. Jackson motherfucker moment, motherfucker. That'd be great. But I very much doubt we're going to see an R-rated MCU film.
Sadly.
Get off. Okay, all right. Okay, so I'm happy with this. Okay, I'm happy with this announcement. Any final thoughts on this one?
No, I didn't see Daredevil in its entirety, but what I did see, I liked. So, I mean, if you bring Charlie Cox back, you got the possibility of John Bernthal returning. You've got Vincent D'Onofrio hinting that he may be in Hawkeye.
Well, I reckon that's going to be a reveal in the next episode. That is, I think, because from what I've been watching in Hawkeye, we've already had that little hint of him with the whole uncle character, the uncle to Echo, and they gave us that little part of a person going up to a child Echo and grabbing her cheek, and we heard I reckon it's going to be this week. We're gonna have a bit of a reveal, and Vincent D'Onofrio has been on. He's taken to Twitter, isn't he? And he's been promoting Hawkeye like crazy. So it's Okay. That's a bit of an indicator, really, that he's going to become back as Kingpin. Is that Brandon? Yo, dude.
Good morning, Brandon.
How you doing, brother? Hope you're keeping well. Good, sir. Hope you're keeping well. Actually, I'm curious. Is Brandon still doing this show now? Because Anime 101, is that still happening, Brandon? Please do. Pray tell. Pray tell. Because it got moved. Right. Okay. Because I actually saw something. Getting better internet. Fair enough. Fair enough, sir. Because yeah, I my return is imminent. That's it. That's what we like to hear, good sir. That's what we like to hear. So yeah, I saw something the other day about somebody talking about like there were anime reviewers and things like that, man. And I didn't realize how horrible the Japanese are for copyright like things. Like they're really, really bad apparently, like really, really strict. And they'll like try and nuke you from orbit apparently. Like it's like fucking hell. If you use like anything slightly anime or anything like that, like that's anything slightly copyrighted, they're like, right, get them. That's how, yeah. I was almost January 1st on my new channel. Oh, sorry, I just took that off. Sorry, January 1st on the new channel. Yeah, okay then. So, right, if you've got a link to that new channel, Brandon, ping it over to like me or Stephen in Twitter or something like that. And we'll share your channel around, brother. We'll share it around. We'll get people on board. So there we go. Awesome. That's nice. Right then. So should we roll on to the next bit? Are you happy to roll on, Steve?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then let's do it. All right, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you there. Like I've got a dog in my ear roll. All right. Okay, so here we go. Yes, you do. You do see, buddy. He is there. The pupper. He is there. Staring me down at the moment because he thinks he's going to get treats because he knows it's Saturday and he knows I'm talking to the camera that it means that he gets attention. So, for God's sakes, dog. It's the last one in the box. There, take it. Right, okay. Anyway, let's roll on. Okay, so Dave Bautista to star in M. Night Shyamalan's Knock at the Cabin. So, M. Night Shyamalan's doing a new film. Okay. So, Dave Bautista, former wrestler, as we all know, and Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy. Here we go. So, in addition to his often joked about trademark twists, director M. Night Shyamalan is also known for keeping his production costs relatively low while also casting major Hollywood stars like Mark Wahlberg in The Happening, Mel Gibson in Signs, Bruce Willis in The Sixth Sense, and amongst others, Samuel L. Jackson for Unbreakable and Glass, and then James McAvoy for Split and Glass. The title of Shyamalan's next film, Knock at the Cabin, was revealed in October with a release date of February 3rd, 2023. But as is often the case, no details about the premise were revealed. What we do know as of this week is that the film's star will be a professional wrestler turned Guardians of the Galaxy star, Dave Bautista, who is also in Dune, and very good in that too, which echoes the aforementioned tendency by M. Night Shyamalan to bolster his film's box office appeal by casting popular A-list movie stars. Just 3 months after Knock at the Cabin, Bautista will also return as Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Okay. So M. Night Shyamalan's got a new one coming. Okay. I still haven't watched Old yet. I was going to watch it, but I still haven't seen it yet. I don't know if you've seen that one. Have you seen that one yet, Stephen?
Not yet.
No, apparently it's quite a good M. Night Shyamalan film. Because you know his trademark twisty thing at the end. Yeah, okay, Dave Bautista. I mean, Dave Bautista's good. Okay, Dave Bautista's great in like supporting roles and things like that. You know, like obviously Drax and things. But if you watch Army of the Dead, where he's the lead actor in it, I hate shitting on people like on actors and saying their skills are bad, but he's not the strongest for a lead. I don't feel at the moment. You know, I think he needs to hone his craft a little bit more. Just going off of his performance in Army of the Dead, but it's an M. Night Shyamalan film. So, you know, what kind of role could he? I'm guessing it's probably going to be something like he's going to be some sort of, like, I don't know, lumberjacky sort of thing. I don't know, because it's like something to do with cabins or something. I don't know. I don't know. Any thoughts on this one?
Well, we don't. This is a movie. It's happening. It has a lead. That's it.
Yeah. Typical, like, we don't have a clue what Shyamalan's doing.
There's hopefully we will know what he's doing during the film.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. That's so I mean, we only have to wait until February for that one. So,
M. Night Shyamalan, hit and miss.
Mm-hmm. That's right, February 2023.
At best. Hollywood wants to make Batista happen
desperately.
He's saying the right things to the right people in that town. So
yeah. I've noticed in that his politics seems to work well with certain Hollywood types. But again,
I liked him in Dune. I liked him in 2049. Mm-hmm. He's good at Drax. He's good as Drax, but can he go past that mark? And we don't know yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like to say, going off of his performance on Army of the Dead as a lead. So what we got Brandon saying, hopefully you'll have a great day. I got to book it and get my day started. Okay, buddy. Take it easy. Only way once Dave was using a massive. Fair enough. Yeah. Anna, hello, Anna. So there we go. Where is she? There we go. I'll go back. And Brian's hello there. Yeah, Dave is a former wrestler. That is correct. Yes. He is indeed a former wrestler for the WWE. And now turned actor. I don't think he does any wrestling anymore, does he? Like, so.
And I know Anne, and I know that she does know her wrestler history. So
wrestling fan. Okay, fair enough. Well, welcome to the show, Anne. Thank you very much for joining us. Mm-hmm. What's that? What's the last thing Brandon said? He is a good actor. Just leaves a lot to be desired on other aspects, in my opinion. Fair enough. Yeah. So we'll give you a chance, Batista. We'll give you a chance to see what Shyamalan can do with you.
There are actors who are good in an ensemble, and then there are actors who are good leads, and Batista, in my opinion, he's best in an ensemble.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I agree.
I did not see Army of the Dead, so I can't speak to that. I did see him in Stuber, which was more of him up front, but he had. Again, in that movie, Camille Nanjiani to play off of, because it's essentially a buddy cop film.
Yeah.
Which I have to admit, I liked Stuber. I thought it was fun. I just think they both need to stay off of Twitter for a while.
I think that can be said about a lot of actors, really.
You can say that about most people who are on Twitter, including probably myself. So...
Yeah.
So,
I mean, all I do on Twitter is I post memes and links to my videos. Really. That's it. I try not to get involved with other people's stuff. Anyway, okay. So okay. We'll see what Shyamalan does with Batista then, shall we? And with a name like Knock at the Cabin, sounds like it's going to be horror. So okay. Right then. Let's roll on to the next one then. Let's roll on the next one. Oh God. There's another MCU star. We're like, here we go. So number 5, Tom Holland confirms starring role in Fred Astaire biopic. Oh, okay. He's going to be playing Fred Astaire. Correct. Okay. Damn, Holland, you got some crow's feet for a kid your age. I just noticed that. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Get the moisturizer, bro. Anyway. Wow, this is quite an article here. So the amount of time and potentially high results from a successful film production both result in a frequent phenomena called dueling movies, which happens when 2 or more separate film projects are in development at the same time, using essentially the same premise or concept. Previous examples include asteroids, volcanoes, live-action Snow Whites, and even 2 different Steve Prefonte biopics. Okay. In October of last year, Jamie Bell of Billy Elliot and Margaret Qualley, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, were announced as the stars of an Amazon Studios production called Fred and Ginger, about the classic Hollywood dancing duo of Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. A year later, another young actor who also played Billy Elliot on stage, Tom Holland, is now also attached to star as Fred Astaire in a completely separate biopic. The news was recently leaked and teased, but Holland himself confirmed that he is attached to star in the project for Sony Pictures, the studio he works with the most frequently, including the upcoming video game adaptation of Uncharted, which is scheduled for February release next year. No director was announced for Sony's untitled Fred Astaire biopic, but Holland said that he's going to dust off the old tap shoes and go back to Pineapple Dance Studios in London, which is a famous dance studio, to get back in dancing form for the project, which will be produced by his Spider-Man No Way Home producer, Amy Pascal, or Garth, as I want to call her at the moment. Yeah, okay. This is good. All right, I like this. This is good because Tom Holland has a back history of musical theatre and things like that. And like I said, he played Billy Elliot in the West End and stuff. This could be really good, I think. I think this could be really good.
Yeah.
But then again, like I say, this is interesting though, because like I say, Jamie Bell has got one as well. But yeah.
We got another case of dueling movies here that could both be.
Yeah, it's kind of it's Dante's Peak versus Volcano moment, isn't it? Like, So I don't know which one would be better though. I mean, because Amazon have been producing some pretty good stuff recently. They're like the Amazon in-house films that they've been releasing have been quite high quality, haven't they? Really. But then Sony Pictures taking on something like this. I reckon this is going to be a hard one to call. Which one's going to be the better biopic here? But as well, the other difference that I can see here is that the Jamie Bell starring one is not just about Fred Astaire himself; it's about Fred and Ginger, like about Ginger Rogers as well. Whereas the Holland one seems to be just directly a Fred Astaire story, which would obviously involve Ginger Rogers at some point. But I think the more focus will probably be on Fred himself. That's just me going off of what I'm reading here, anyway. Because there's no sort of announcement for Ginger Rogers with regards to the Sony picture.
Though you've got to think, obviously she's going to be there. But
I wonder who Sony would get to play Ginger. That'd be. I reckon we'll find out that in the next couple of weeks, definitely.
Yeah.
When did they say that there was any schedule for this? No, there's no scheduled release date. So, okay, and like I say, Holland is only just getting back into the dancing thing for it. So we haven't even got. They're clearly just in pre-production on this one. Then early pre-production, I'd say as well. Okay, cool. Well, Fred Astaire, is an interesting, dude, So I'm curious to see this one. Seems to be a lot of biopics at the moment. Is that just me?
Well, we have Oppenheimer, Fred Astaire. Now 2 Fred Astaire movies now.
It's like yeah. I guess sometimes life can be a lot more interesting than fiction. So, especially with some of these famous people. Okay, yeah, well, Tom Holland, he's turning into Chris Pratt a bit. He's like in everything. So, talking to Chris Pratt, I've got a little Mario behind me. It's me. Anyway, yeah, and I like Chris Pratt. I think Chris Pratt's fun. And I like Tom Holland as well. I think he's fun. So, yeah, I'll watch it. Any final thoughts on that one before we roll on, Stephen?
Well, we'll keep an eye on both productions and see where they go. Maybe we'll get some casting news. I'm going to assume probably late 2023 release date, possibly.
Yeah,
depending on when they start filming, or maybe even early 2024. Because I have to assume this being both of these movies being biopics, that they're going to go for Oscars for these.
Oh God, yeah, these are just
So
award season films, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, but that again, the other interesting thing there is it's like Amazon is streaming studios. Sony Studios is strictly cinema, isn't it? So that's interesting. So we've got a streaming service going up against a box office film as well. That could be an interesting, unless Amazon just do decide to start doing what Netflix have been doing, which is like sticking certain films into cinemas. Don't know. And that's something else that I'm curious about there. Like it's just that between streaming and studio war there. Like, but anyway, okay.
But one thing I have noticed though, and I'm not going to go too far down this rabbit hole, but the studios do seem to be vying for theatrical releases. Yeah, they're being more firm about release dates. We're going into production now, and we'll be here in the summer of 2023, early 2024. Every movie we've talked about so far this morning has had set theatrical release dates. And I see that as a good sign that the theaters are going to start coming back, or at least we have at least Sony and Universal and maybe Amazon perhaps as well, who seem to think that the theaters are going to be up and running again, and hopefully full of people by
I want to see it
2023 and certainly early 2024, and I would like to see that as well.
Yeah, this is it. It's like the theater experience is a magical one. We should not risk losing it for anything, like not even a goddamn pandemic. So yes, cool. Right then, so fuck you, variants. Don't destroy our cinema experiences. Anyway, let's roll on. Let's roll on to the next one then. Before I start bitching about the current situation of the world. Right. Sorry, did you have anything else to add on that one? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Stephen.
No. I'm just saying that if Hollywood once again goes back to churning out good stories, if they start going back to the epic filmmaking of Dune, of An In the Heights, of A West Side Story, and if they can just keep their thing to a minimum and just go back to entertaining people again, and I can't see them getting too political with like a Fred Astaire biopic, unless there's something in his backstory that I'm not aware of,
Unless they decide to create something.
So it's the thing is that there's so much up in the air right now that we would just be theorizing.
Oh God, yeah, absolute pure speculation.
Total, speculation. So
Cool. Okay, then.
Cautiously optimistic is a phrase I've been using a lot lately. So,
yeah, I think that seems to be something that should be in everybody's vocabulary, really, like at the moment. Definitely. Just be cautiously optimistic about the next day after the next day after the next day. So, yes. Okay. Right then. So, yeah, okay, Fred Astaire. Something there to look forward to. We've got dueling films. Okay, so next one. Okay, here we go. Number 6. Will Ferrell and Jamie Foxx go to the dogs as strays. Okay, so this is going to be voice acting stuff. Let's have a look. For nearly as long as filmmakers have known that peanut butter makes dogs move their mouths up and down, Hollywood has been making movies about talking dogs, like Look Who's Talking Now. Oh God, that got 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, wow. In a sign that the subgenre isn't dead quite yet, Universal Pictures is moving forward with plans for an adult-skewing live-action CGI comedy called Strays. Oh, okay. So this is going to be an adult comedy. Okay. Voices of the lead dogs in Strays will be provided by Jamie Foxx and Will Ferrell, with another Saturday Night Live alumnus Will Forte playing one of the humans. Okay, Strays will be directed by Josh Greenbaum, whose last film, Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar, was arguably hampered last year by the pandemic. Will Ferrell will voice an abandoned dog who teams up with other strays, including one voiced by Jamie Foxx, to get revenge on his former owner, Will Forte. Strays actually already wrapped principal production recently, but it does not yet have a release date. Okay. Well, the fact it hasn't been given a release date, that's a bit odd. If they've wrapped already, does that show lack of confidence?
Perhaps we have adult skewing. Okay, so all right, let's just say it for what it is. We're going to have cursing dogs.
Yeah.
In this movie, we're going to have cursing CGI dogs.
Looks that way.
And so this is probably not going to be a movie for kids. Obviously.
Yeah.
So adult skewing, this is not going to be for kids. Coming off of the Santa Inc. debacle, which is getting a season 2, despite the fact that even critics don't want to talk about it.
I know. Yeah, I was surprised that HBO Max have given it a second
HBO
season,
Max. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, talk about burning cash. It's stop motion as well, and that's not cheap. It's like
no,
it's really expensive. I know. I'm a stop motion animator, and it's fucking expensive. It's
This is not one aimed for me.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I say, this feels like it's going to be one of those films that is probably going to be worth watching if you want to sit there with a bong and a bag of Cheetos and a bottle of Mountain Dew. Yeah.
and that's personally not my scene.
Yeah.
So
this does seem like it's going to be one for the stoners, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, everybody involved with Strays, we wish you good luck.
Yeah.
But
I don't think it's going to do too well.
No.
I mean, it'd be interesting if it's a nice surprise and it turns out to be like hilarious or something like that. Like, But like you say, going off of the recent trend that seems to be going with adult comedies that could be, based around sort of child premises like talking dogs and things like that, like like obviously stop motion animation things like that, like haven't really been doing the best for installing confidence into an adult audience, really. Especially considering most adults these days are kind of fed up with the shit that we're being forced to endure through Hollywood. I mean,
there is a way to do this. I mean, South Park is still very popular among a certain group of people.
South Park. Yeah.
And and I'm seeing this with Santa Inc. And there was a movie earlier in the year called America the Motion Picture. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not. No, I did not. I never heard of that one.
You didn't miss anything.
Oh, right. Okay.
There is there seems to be a certain segment of Hollywood that are trying to recapture the South Park's formula.
Well, I'm trying to get that.
But they
model.
But it's like they watch South Park, they miss the point of it because they don't understand satire. Present day Hollywood does not understand satire, and Trey Parker and Matt Stone obviously do.
Oh, they're the kings of satire, really. Like
absolutely, and they make their point. They get their own political digs in, and understand South Park is very political.
Oh, very political.
Very political, but they don't cram it down your throat. There's always a moral at the end of it, because it's essentially a parody of like after school specials anyway, or at least it started out that way. Parker and Stone understand satire. Hollywood on its own doesn't.
No,
they don't understand satire. They don't understand irony, and hopefully this movie will. We're not bagging on a movie that we haven't seen yet.
I think half the time Hollywood don't even realize their own irony.
It's because it's again that I don't want to keep hitting this point, but it's this whole lack of self-awareness. Hopefully again, we don't know. We haven't seen this movie. There's no release date. Hopefully, for their sake, it'll work.
What studio is making this?
Did it say? Universal.
It's Universal. It's a Universal film. Okay.
Yeah. We'll see. Josh Greenbaum, according to this article, his last movie was well received. I didn't see it.
No, I haven't seen it myself. But yeah, it's certified fresh. So with the Rotten Tomatoes thing, anyway.
It got released in the middle of the pandemic. Whether your movie was good or not, the pandemic hurt box office across the board.
Oh, God, yeah.
Streaming.
Any films that were released during that period of the last year, I believe, you can't give full judgment on that film's performance because of those factors. No. People at the moment are trying to fucking shit on Ghostbusters Afterlife still, and comparing it to the 2016 film, and stuff. It's because of how much it's made at the box office. It's well, you got to remember, we're still in a pandemic. People are still worried about going to theaters and stuff like that. And 2016's Ghostbusters in the end cost over 200 million, including its marketing and stuff like that. And it it just about broke even, I think. And so it's like you cannot compare Ghostbusters Afterlife, which had a budget of 75 million and has already taken over 100 million back. So yeah, any films that have been released at the moment, box office numbers, say you can't rely on box office at the moment. You still can't. I don't believe that any of these news outlets or reviewers and things like that should be using box office comparisons at the moment, really. I think it should be a case of like we keep saying, films should be being judged on their merits, if you know what I mean, rather than their box office takings.
I mean, if the people watching right now, and I'm going to plug another channel here, if you don't mind, what you really need to do when it comes to box office is don't go to mainstream media, mainstream entertainment media to really get a true assessment of box office. Go to someone like Valiant Renegade.
Yes,
his videos, especially lately, and the ones that he's done with Cameron Pasha, really tell the true story, I think, of what's going on behind the scenes as far as box office is concerned. Because I mean, he's just been right on. The last few videos, he's just been, spot on. So
definitely,
again, in the case of this movie, we're just guessing as far as what the box office could be. Every movie is going to be hurting the box office for right now, and you can't really go by. Let's go back to West Side Story for a second. West Side Story made only $800,000 Thursday night.
Damn.
Which is not good. I mean, In the Heights, as maligned as that, as unfairly maligned as that movie was, made a decent amount of money its opening weekend. I think it was like 11 million.
Considering when it was released as well.
Yes. West Side Story could fail. And it doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't deserve to.
Yeah. Hopefully
there are just so many factors. There are factors that work against a movie to begin with, but now you're adding the pandemic. You're adding poor marketing. You're adding Hollywood itself.
Yeah.
Basically cutting its own throat, and it's just...
it's messy.
It's messy.
It's messy.
Yeah, it's messy.
Best way to put. But we'll see where this one goes then. We'll see where this one goes. Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on it.
Okay. Let's roll on to the next. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Disney animation. All right then. So, number 7 this week. Disney animation is set to take us to a strange world in 2022. Okay, so classic Disney Animation Studios logo there with the classic looking Mickey, because I really don't like the new looking Mickey. Okay, let's quickly read this then, shall we? Right then, so it's becoming increasingly common for movie studios to list untitled projects on their upcoming release calendars. Until this week, that's exactly what Walt Disney Pictures did for next year on November 23rd, 2022, on the same date as the boxing sequel Creed 3 and Steven Spielberg's semi-autobiographical The Fabelmans. Oh, okay. Walt Disney Pictures has confirmed that the next feature film from Disney Animation will be called Strange World. The futuristic science fiction adventure will be heavily influenced by the pulp adventures of the early 20th century, say Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers, and etc., and revolve around a legendary family of explorers on their latest mission on a new world. Strange World will reunite the team of director Don Hall, who's co-director of Moana and Big Hero 6, and the screenwriter Qui Nugent. I think that's how you say that, Nugent. Who previously collaborated on this year's Raya and the Last Dragon. Okay, so Disney has not yet announced any of the actors who will be providing the voices of the film's central family. The Clades. Oh, okay. Hola, Paulie. How's it doing, dude?
Hello, Paulie.
Hope you're good.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, man. So we've just been talking about the that new animation. Okay, the fact that it's a futuristic science fiction film. Okay, I'm down.
Yeah, outstanding. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm down on that premise. And the fact it's going to be heavily influenced by like the pulp adventures of the early 20th century, so like Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers and stuff like that. Like I love Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers as well. I really enjoyed watching when I was younger. Yeah, okay. But we don't have any cast announcements. But again, Big Hero 6 was a good film. I enjoyed Big Hero 6. I thought it was fun. Moana as well is a good animation. So the director, okay, Don Hall, I'm on board there. And Kui Nugent, like I say, I haven't seen Raya and the Last Dragon yet. It just didn't really grab me. I didn't really feel the need to watch it, but I haven't heard bad things about it. So
this shows some promise.
It does. But
and it's a subject that I like, which is science fiction.
Yeah.
And we haven't had a good pulp science fiction animation in how long?
God, I was say, I was trying to think then, like, I couldn't even like.
What was the last one? I know.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a lot. It's been a while. The thing that's got me here though is the fact there's the release date. So they're going to be releasing on the same day as Creed 3, which is going to be a big puller because obviously the Creed series has really been popular. And Steven Spielberg's doing a semi-autobiographical film. I didn't even realize that. The Fabelmans. So to release on the same day as two what look like be big box office hitters, I don't know. I'm curious about that. But I guess kind of like, okay, so if this is going to be like, Disney animation, so this would be like, so you got something for the kids, something for the like teen sort of early youngish sort of people with Creed 3, and then Steven Spielberg's semi-autobiographical would be for the old, like as older audience, like the more seasoned cinema goers. So
and if it's Spielberg return to form,
yeah,
which as I said with West Side Story, I think it is a return to form for him.
Yeah,
that could be big too.
So
that's Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving next year. Wow.
So that's so a holiday release.
That could be that's going to be a big weekend if these are.
Next year is shaping up to be a massive year for film.
I'm liking this.
Yeah,
this lineup.
So
all right,
it's gonna be a full calendar next year
for sure.
Well, yeah. Okay, then this is one to watch then. So, Strange World from Disney Animation Studios. Right on. Okay. So, any final thoughts on that one then before we roll on to the next one?
I'm digging it.
Cool. Yeah,
I like it. This is totally up my alley. So
there we go. This could be, who knows, because it's Disney animation. This could be a good gateway for any of you parents out there who have got younger kids, getting them into sci-fi. There we go. So
and we need a little bit of we need some Flash Gordon and some Buck Rogers right now, I think. So
totally. Yeah, total escapism.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally. I mean, weren't they doing a Flash Gordon film? Somebody was doing that, I'm sure.
I heard rumblings of one. I've also heard that there could be a Buck Rogers movie. But I haven't heard any details, so I don't know if those are two projects that are in production hell right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Especially like with properties like Flash Gordon, like and how big of an IP it is, really, if you think about it, because it doesn't know.
And then we'd also have to research who has the rights.
That's a good point, actually.
To make any of those, to make
who was
a Flash Gordon or a Buck Rogers movie.
Because it wasn't Disney that released the Flash Gordon film, was it? No.
No.
Because they did Black Hole as their kind of sci-fi thing, didn't they? Like,
yeah.
I thought, was it Fox? that did Flash. I don't know. I've got to look into that one. Like, but yeah, I'm curious actually. Who owns the rights to these properties now?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So one to watch. Mm-hmm.
And then we got to start thinking about who could play the leads.
Yeah. Who would be the perfect casting? Flash Gordon.
Who? Yeah.
Ooh, Buck Rogers. Probably Chris Pratt.
I'm thinking Chris Pratt for Buck Rogers. Yeah, I really am.
Yeah. Oh, he definitely got the cockiness for and that kind of swagger. But Flash Gordon.
Oh, for sure. Flash Gordon. That'll be a little.
Because again,
Hemsworth, maybe.
The Rock. Yeah. I just hope they don't pick John Cena. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Cena's funny, but I don't think he'd be a very good Flash Gordon.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well then, okay. So some sci-fi to look forward to in the form of animation from Disney Studios. Okay, then. So.
And of course, we will sit down and begin writing the Buck Rogers film.
Of course, we're going to pen that one.
we will make Buck Rogers. God damn it! All right. Moving on.
I had to go into my head then was the Daffy Duck one, like Duck Dodgers in the 21st and a half century.
Hell, I'll take that
any day. Okay, talking of Universal Pictures, here we go. Number 8, Universal Pictures reviving classic monster Phantom of the Opera, it seems. Okay, Phantom. Okay, so there is some disagreement about which movie was the first of the Universal Classic Monsters films. Officially, Universal Pictures seems to start the branding with the talkies of the 1930s and specifically 1931's Dracula. But some fans go back to the silent era and include the 1925 version of The Phantom of the Opera, which was also distributed by Universal Pictures. And to complicate matters, Universal does list their 1943 remake starring Claude Rains as part of the branding. So Universal is currently in the midst of a wave of Universal Classic Monster reboots, or UCM for the acronym, reboots that began last year with
little bit of a technical hiccup on Matt's side, but never fear. Matt, are you with us? Okay, put us up on Still Store Cambot. We're going to go back to the top. There's some disagreement about which movie was the first Universal Classic Monster films. Officially, Universal Pictures seems to start the branding with the talkies of the 1930s, and specifically 1931's Dracula, certified fresh at 94%. But some fans go back to the silent era to include 1925's Phantom of the Opera, certified fresh at 90%. Which was also distributed by Universal Pictures. And to complicate matters, Universal does list their 1943 remake, starring Claude Rains, as part of the branding. Universal is currently in the midst of a wave of UCM reboots that began last year with The Invisible Man, certified fresh at 92%, and will soon continue with The Wolfman, starring Ryan Gosling. The studio is now also partnering with producer John Legend on Phantom, a modern retelling of the Phantom of the Opera that will be set in New Orleans' contemporary French Quarter, using that city's music instead of the opera of the original 1910 novel by Gaston Leroux. Screenwriter John Fusco said of his Phantom screenplay, quote, The French Quarter, where New Orleans is not only known as America's most haunted city, but the music, French Creole culture, and the voodoo mystique masquerade pageantry of Mardi Gras just lent itself to a natural adaptation of the Paris setting. and a story that has revenge, unrequited love, and mystery. Okay, well, we have another Phantom of the Opera film. We don't have a director or release date or cast yet. We have the screenwriter John Fusco, who you might be aware of from Young Guns, among other movies. This again is a reboot of the whole Universal Dark Universe films, which is, as you all know, has had its share of starts and stops. Most notably, the Alex Kurtzman, Tom Cruise starring vehicle, The Mummy, which landed with something of a thud at the box office. Again, this is a movie we don't know much about. Apparently, Ryan Gosling is going to star as the Wolfman. That's certainly interesting. Is it going to be a present day telling, or if it's going to be a period piece? We don't know. Again, we don't know yet. Let me see if I can get this up on the screen for you. So, okay, in the chat, let me know what you think. Would you be interested in seeing a Phantom of the Opera film produced by John Legend? Are you interested in the Wolfman film starring Ryan Gosling? I'm a big fan of Ryan Gosling. He can do no wrong. I tend to like the movies that he's in. So I'm looking forward a little more to that one. We don't. I'm going to assume Phantom of the Opera is going to be something of a musical. I don't know if it's going to be a straight up everybody's going to stop and break into song kind of musical, or if it's just going to be a film with a lot of music in it. But we will see. Okay, we don't have Matt back yet, so I'm going to. We're going to move on to story number 9. Which I can't bring up on screen for you, but I'm going to read it off. Okay, story number 9. Brad Pitt racing project leads to heated bidding war. As Hollywood increasingly relies on in-house licensing, including sequels and reboots, the spec screenplay and bidding wars over hot new projects have taken a bit of a tumble over the last several years, but it does still occasionally happen. These days, bidding wars or auctions most often revolved around hot directors, such as with Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, which will be coming this fall, as we've already mentioned, or popular movie stars, and not so much merely because of a film's premise. This week's big news about a bidding war revolved around an untitled racing film that has Brad Pitt attached to star, and Joseph Kosinski, director of Oblivion and Tron Legacy, returning as director here. Kaczynski actually started filming his fourth film, Top Gun Maverick, over 3 years ago, but the COVID-19 pandemic has continued to delay its release and is now scheduled for May 27th, 2022, 4 years after filming started. The premise of this Brad Pitt racing film hasn't been revealed, but one of the advisors was reportedly British Formula One driver Lewis Hamilton, which suggests it might revolve around Formula One racing. The studios involved with the bidding war include Paramount, MGM, Sony Universal, Disney, as well as their streaming services Amazon, Apple, and Netflix. But we don't know who landed the project. Well, we've narrowed it down to just about everyone. I'm somewhat of a race fan personally, so this is going to be one that I might like.
Hello, everybody. I'm back again.
Thank goodness.
My computer decided to reboot itself.
Wow.
Yeah. How much fun was that? Oh, bloody
Okay.
technology. So yeah, that kind of I kind of just got kicked the hell out of that then. So yeah, let's bring back. Right, sorry, Stephen, to do that to you. Oh God,
No
live.
problem. No problem.
Live. That's all I can say. Live. Right.
Live broadcasting, folks.
Yeah. So shall I pull that story back up where we left off? Are you ready?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. Right. We were talking about the Universal monster things. Yeah. Right. Oh, right. This is your screen.
Okay.
It's confused me, that did, because it's like, oh crap, hold on a second. It was
okay, let me run us back here.
Okay,
so we were talking about the a reboot of Phantom of the Opera with musician John Legend as signed on as producer.
Right,
it's going to be
I've got my screen
back. Okay, it's apparently going to be a modern day retelling.
Aha.
So, under penned by screenwriter John Fusco, who wrote the Young Guns films.
Oh, right, okay.
Also, Thunderheart with Val Kilmer, which you may remember from the 90s, which was a murder mystery on a Indian reservation.
Yes.
So yeah, another reboot. I'm more interested in the Wolfman film with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, I just saw that.
So
that could be quite interesting.
Yeah.
The thing that makes me curious, though, does it say here what they're doing?
No, not really.
Okay, so
yeah,
because obviously what they did with the Invisible Man brought it into the modern, setting. I'm wondering if they're going to do that with the other things. Because there's no indication here, is there, that they're going to do that?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I did like Invisible Man quite a lot.
I did enjoy it. Yeah, I did enjoy the Invisible Man. Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping these movies will be on that level.
It would be good. It would be good if that happened.
So was it, and because I have no problem with them rebooting the old monsters, the old classic Universal monsters. If they have a plan, if they have someone, dare I say it, like a Kevin Feige or a Zack Snyder, not them, but one singular voice, a showrunner, so to speak, who can shepherd one vision, one plan, someone who can implement it, someone who can bring in the right people. We don't know what the plan is here yet. So,
and like that's the thing as well with Universal. They've tried this before, didn't they, with The Mummy?
The Mummy,
that wasn't
directed by our pal Alex Kurtzman.
I really hated The Mummy. I'm sorry, it was terrible.
I didn't see it. I've seen the scene where Russell Crowe has the transformation, but that's it.
Yeah, when he turns into Hyde.
Hyde, yeah. Or Nick Fury. I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what they're trying to play him off as. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Which is
We'll
fine.
see
I
what...
would love to see Russell Crowe in a Jekyll and Hyde movie. I mean, he kind of did it anyway with Unhinged, but you know, but yeah,
we'll see where they
go.
go.
We'll see where this.
Yeah, I mean,
how this plays
like you
out.
say, the most interesting looking thing there is Ryan Gosling as the Wolfman. So,
yeah,
because he's a good actor. So,
yes, he is.
Yes, I'd be curious to see that. Okay, all right. Just to make this life easier for me, I'm going to quickly throw my screen back in. There we go. Same story. Okie dokie. So yeah, okay then. So thank you very much for holding the fort on that one then, Stephen. Whilst I disappeared for a few minutes. Okay. So let's roll on to the next one then. 'Cause I'm pretty sure you already did, didn't you?
Yes. The next story is a spec script about Formula One racing with Brad Pitt attached to star. And every studio and streaming service seems to be vying for it. So
okay,
yeah.
So yeah. So have you already read this out? Have you?
I have. Joseph Kosinski is directing it. The director of Bolivian Tron Legacy and the upcoming Top Gun sequel. He will be helming this movie. So,
what was the last Formula One film I remember was a Chris Hemsworth one.
Rush with about James Hunt and Niki Lauda with Daniel Brühl. Good movie.
Yes, and then before
Ron
that,
Howard
the only
directing.
one I can think of had Sylvester Stallone in it, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of that, but yeah, you know
Driven.
what I'm about.
Yeah, wasn't a terribly realistic film in any way.
No. That was trying to, like, I don't know what they were trying to do with that, like trying to turn like Formula One into some sort of action thing, like I don't know. Okay, the premise that this
which you can, but it's just that Rush did it better, I think. Obviously, much better.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting. Then I've just seen that. So one of the advisors they've got on it is Lewis Hamilton. Okay, Lewis Hamilton being probably the best Formula One driver currently,
and that would be Max Verstappen, sir. Thank you very much. My personal opinion. All right.
Okay.
But no props to Lewis Hamilton. The man has won his share of championships. He'll win more.
Oh yeah. He was with Mercedes for a while, wasn't he? And then is he with Ferrari now?
Is he?
I'm not sure. Unless he's still with Mercedes.
Last I heard, he was still with Mercedes.
There we go.
If he jumps ship to Ferrari, holy shit! You know, the Mercedes will be. They would still have Valtteri Bottas, but to lose Hamilton at this stage of the game for them would be fairly devastating. Yeah.
Well, that's good to see though that they have got actual, elite Formula One advisors on this, like, as well. So that's like, reassuring for the quality of the fact, the storytelling with regards to the racing and stuff like that. So and like you said, so this final bit here, so the studios involved with the bidding war include Paramount, MGM, Sony, Universal, Disney, as well as the streaming services Amazon, Apple, and Netflix. Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
So everybody wants a piece of this.
Everybody.
I mean,
this is going to be fun just to see what happens with the bidding war over this thing. So.
I know. I think that's going to be the most interesting thing about this film, isn't it? Because it's a bit. I mean, I know that there is a big Formula One following out there, but
absolutely,
these sorts of like sports films and stuff like that tend to be quite niche, because they're not always for everyone. I mean, saying that though, I mean, I loved Ford versus Ferrari. I thought,
oh yes, yeah, that movie was outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, it was called Le Mans 66.
Le Mans 66, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Ford versus Ferrari in other places around the world. But yeah, again, that if you haven't seen that film, people watch it because it's a brilliant biopic. That is,
and Christian Bale should have been nominated for an Oscar.
God, yeah, he's absolutely excellent in it. And
That
Christian
was
Bale doing his British accent again, like which is you don't always see. But yeah, and Matt Damon as well was excellent.
Also, yes,
yeah,
and the woman from Outlander.
Yeah. Oh, I can't
whose
remember.
name I can never pronounce, but
yeah. But again, it was I like I say, I mean, I like cars. I do like cars, you know. But the way the cinematography of that film was just with the racing and stuff like that was fucking phenomenal. It really brought a whole different level of, I don't know, car chase excitement, if you know what I mean, than you normally get. It was it was more, I don't know, it was more romantic, you know, I guess. The way that they depict the cars and stuff, like, I mean, not quite to the point of like, you know, car porn like Fast and Furious, like, but still, I'd say a more classy sort of car porn.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so I mean, like the Ford GT in that. Oh man, yeah, classic, absolute classic. Okay, so when did they say this is due? Well, we don't have a due. Okay, so we don't have a release date.
We do not have a release date, so they're still very early in pre-production, obviously. So looking for backing.
Okay. Yeah, this is probably going to be like a 2025, then probably I imagine, or 2024. 2024, I'd say.
24 probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Late 24, early 25, I would think.
Because, you know, they've got Brad Pitt involved. It's Formula One. You can imagine that they're going to probably be using like some high-end sort of stuff for it. Like, so it's going to be an expensive budget on this one. Like, you know, and like if they really want to do things justice, like, yeah, it's going to, you know, like they've got to go all out on production on this because, you know, they've got to make this appeal to everybody who isn't a Formula One fan as well. So, I mean, Brad Pitt is the only actor attached so far. Yeah. Yeah, it looks that way.
Yep.
So, I mean, with Brad Pitt in your lead, yeah, I reckon they'll pull some other big names into it. Like, but will it be on par with Ford versus Ferrari? That's a good question, because I reckon that's going to be the film it gets compared to in regards to its story and whatnot. Like, so.
And another possibility, and I'm just taking a wild swing here. You have a director who has now worked with Tom Cruise multiple times.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility we could be seeing Tom Cruise in this movie? Pitt versus Cruise.
Pitt versus Cruise. That would be quite interesting, wouldn't it? Like, and considering their last names, like, they're kind of, you know, attached to racing, aren't they? Like, because you got Cruise and then you got Pitt. So, that was a terrible link. That was.
That's fine. You know, I'm just throwing that out there as a what if.
That's and the thing is though, it's like not as if like it's out of the realms of possibility either. So it's okay.
And of course, that would be they were both in Interview with a Vampire together.
Yes,
so that would be a good a nice reunion.
That would be cool. That would be quite cool.
Have them as possible.
That would be a big selling point for the film as well.
Having them as rivals, yeah.
You know?
All right.
So cool. Okay. Yeah. Well, again, if you're a fan of Formula One, then that's something to look forward to right there. Okay. And if you're a fan of Brad Pitt, there you go. There's another thing to look forward to for you. That's probably for you ladies out there. Okay, well, that's it then. That's the end. That was the last one. So,
all right.
Right then, let's have a quick roll back through then. So we've had the bidding war over this Formula One film with Brad Pitt. We've got Universal redoing the Phantom of the Opera. We have got Walt Disney Pictures, which has got a new sci-fi animation coming, which sounds like it's going to be great. Will Ferrell, Jamie Foxx in an adult comedy about dogs. Tom Tom Holland, the man who's in everything, is going to be playing Fred Astaire alongside another film about Fred Astaire, which is going to be starring Jamie Bell. So warring films there. That's interesting. Dave Bautista is to lead a M. Night Shyamalan film. Charlie Cox will return as Daredevil. New Spider-Man trailer for Across the Spider-Verse, which is probably going to be a two-parter. Announcement of Shang-Chi sequel, and the cast of Oppenheimer grows again. So there we go. That's this week's headlines and in the entertainment world. An interesting week. Very interesting week there. I think big thing for me there. I mean, obviously that Oppenheimer thing is looking more and more exciting as that cast grows. But I think that sci-fi animation thing is something that's got me really curious. Like really, really curious.
Yeah.
I mean, Shang-Chi sequel, yeah, that was inevitable. But yeah, I mean, like the Formula One film, just purely based on that bidding war, like, you know, could be interesting. But yeah, I think, like I say, M. Night Shyamalan, Dave Bautista. Let's see what Shyamalan can pull out of Bautista. Yeah, that's it, really. I mean, a pretty good week for movie news. Not too political or angry, considering all of the recent things that have happened in the film world. Thank God we got away from that now. Not completely, because there was still one headline, unfortunately. So yeah, involving certain things that happened on sets and stuff. So yeah, that's it then. I mean, I think the most exciting thing for me was probably the announcement of a science fiction animation film from Disney. So yeah. What about you? What was your highlight of this week?
That was definitely the highlight for me.
Yeah,
because
we're on the same page there.
We need more movies like something to bring us back to a little bit of old school, and I think we need that right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
People need to be reminded of the fun that is out there, in regards to fantasy and stuff like that. Because we used to have our Star Wars for fantasy and things like that, and Star Trek and things like that, and sci-fi fantasy and things. And what happened? It got too political. So let's hopefully just have a bit more escapism. I don't need to suffer under the Star Wars.
I said earlier in the week on another show that this pandemic, the one good thing that could have come out of it was it could have been Hollywood's finest hour. They really had a chance to shine and to entertain us and be this sort of beacon of light at the end of a dark tunnel. And for the most part, they chose not to do that.
Yeah,
they chose to be part of the problem, and that's really unfortunate. But we got Dune out of it, and we got Into Heights out of it, and we got West Side Story, and we got Cry Macho, and we got Quiet Place, and we did get some good movies this year.
Yeah, Ghostbusters Afterlife for me is another one. That
Ghostbusters,
and then we've still got The Matrix to come, which I am getting more and more excited about, considering from the last trailer that I saw for it, the most recent trailer that dropped. I'm very curious as to what they're going to do with this story with regards to The Matrix, because this is like the 7th version of The Matrix now, like they're into, like something like that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to The Matrix. That's something else to look forward to this year, before the year ends. Spider-Man as well, now coming out in a week. I think that's it really for the releases for this year, isn't it then? Yeah, so we've got a couple big ones left to go before the end of 2021. So yeah, you know, and 2022 looks like it's lining up to be a heck of a year for film. So,
yeah,
I think my biggest anticipation for next year is definitely Jurassic World Dominion. I am curious to see how they do that, because Colin Trevorrow is back directing that one as well, and they're bringing back the legacy characters. So, hopefully it's better than Fallen Kingdom.
Yes, and hopefully the legacy characters will be treated with respect.
Oh yeah. From what I've heard from Trevorrow in interviews and stuff like that, he definitely carries respect for the franchise, which he was trying to do for Star Wars, because he was originally meant to be doing the Star Wars, wasn't he? And then because of creative differences, in other words, Kathleen fucking Kennedy, and the Lucas story group, Pablo Hidalgo, you fuck. Anyway, it's he dropped out of it, didn't he? Like, you know, he had a really good plan for Star Wars, like, and it would have been awesome to see him like execute that, especially after what fucking Rian fucking Johnson did. You know, it's like, you know, J.J. Abrams, as much as Force Awakens was just basically kind of like Afterlife is, you know, it's a bit of like a reminder of like, this is nostalgia. Here you go, have this. Like, this is what, you know, could do. But there was some things that were set up there that could have been great, and then they gave it to Rian Johnson, and he fucked it. It's like,
I mean, that's the difference between the sequel trilogy and this version of Ghostbusters. And Ghostbusters has been getting, you know, Ghostbusters has been getting some comparisons to Force Awakens, and I don't think that's quite fair.
Yeah, I've seen those comparisons myself.
Ghostbusters Afterlife did what Force Awakens was supposed to do. It did the job right. You got the nostalgia, yes. You got the fan service, yes. But it was at service of a good story, and you care about Phoebe in a way that you don't care about Rey.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like McKenna Grace was awesome, man. She's such a good little actress. Yeah. I mean, I really hope that they do get to making more Ghostbusters, and I hope that she does return, like, as the Phoebe character, because it would be really cool to see her and Podcast leading like a new like Ghostbusting team. With like, I mean, I think the big thing that I'm seeing amongst the Ghostbusters groups is that Ernie Hudson, like, bring Ernie Hudson back, you know, bring Winston back to restart the Ghostbusters. Like, he kind of introduces a new team. He's like the guy at the, you know, the man in the chair at the headquarters, you know, like running things. You bring Ray in to like give him like teachings of like the occult things and the ghosts and everything else, like, and stuff like that. You don't really need Venkman to come back. Like, you know, he's fucking trying to get Bill Murray to do anything is, you know, impossible nearly. You know what I mean? Unless he really wants to do it. And obviously, you know, and we've already dealt with what happened to Egon, so you don't need to worry about that anymore. Now we can move forwards with it, and move forwards respectfully as well. And like what fucking the 2016 film tried to do, which was just basically shit on Ghostbusters. So
you know, you don't make a Ghostbusters movie, kill off Bill Murray, and then quip that he wasn't worthy of being a Ghostbuster.
Yeah.
If I had seen that in theaters, I would have walked out at that moment.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I didn't bother to watch it at cinemas because I hated the trailer. Like I say, I did watch it. I watched it purely out of morbid curiosity, and I didn't pay for it. So it's and it was every bit the disappointment I expected it to be too. I sat there and I just shook my head and I cringed through the entirety of that fucking film. And I think I laughed at maybe one or two things in it. There was like one or two jokes that were funny, and it was mainly Chris Hemsworth that was making me laugh. With his like just sheer stupidity, like of his character. I
hope he got paid a lot for that.
Oh, I do too, you know. But like I say, Kristen Wiig just felt like she was just being, you know, Kristen Wiig. It wasn't anything really special about her character. Melissa McCarthy is just annoying. What was the
Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon, that's it. Like,
and Kate McKinnon is capable of being very funny. I have seen her be funny.
That's the thing. what they did with her character and trying to
Yeah.
make her like Egon. Egon was not cracking queef jokes and stuff. You know,
No.
it's like, I'm sorry, you wouldn't really see some brilliant minds that she's supposed to be, you know, scientific minds for that cracking queef jokes and stuff. It's like, that just doesn't suit that character. It's like
it was such a missed opportunity, and that's what's so heartbreaking about the 2016 movie is they could have made a good movie. The ingredients were there to make a good movie, and they just chose to do this bad Saturday Night Live ramble comedy.
Yeah,
and it didn't
basically
work.
It was just annoying,
you know. And then they went after the fans, which kept people away even more. So
yeah, big mistake. So I think that's the lesson that Hollywood still needs to learn, which is do not fuck with the fans. You know, I mean, surely the Cowboy Bebop thing has proven that now. You know, with regards to that being fucking cancelled, because again,
you know, I mean, and again, you know, I mean, you know, and I'm no expert when it comes to Cowboy Bebop. I've only seen the first 4 episodes of the anime, and I can see how it inspired Firefly, and how it has been this influence in science fiction films since it was released. But all they had to do was just say, well, number one, they shouldn't have made a live action series to even begin with. But if you're going to do it, and I'm sure if Brandon were still in the chat, he could, I'm sure he would go on and on about.
Oh yeah.
Not only a Cowboy Bebop adaptation, but Netflix in general.
Returns, so.
Yeah, absolutely. All they had to do was just say, we understand that there is a very rabid, loyal fan base. We're not saying that we're going to be perfect. We're not saying that we're going to get everything right, but we're going to make the best Cowboy Bebop show that we can.
Yeah.
And and this is going to be a love letter to the fans, and we're going to let the chips fall where they may, and maybe you're not all going to love us, but we tried. Instead, they opened up with, oh, I don't like the costume. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, why did that have to be that? Oh, this has to be changed because, you know, and all this
narrative.
And now they have the narrative of, well, our show sucked because the anime wasn't good. What
it's
the fuck? It's a classic.
See, that reminds me of a saying that, you know, which goes, a bad workman always blames his tools.
Yeah.
You know, and that's blatantly what has happened there. It's like, oh shit, they didn't like it, so let's blame the thing we were basing it on. It's like, fuck off with that. Like, it's
So my thought is, you know, and I'm out of this. You know, I'm not the anime guy. You know, Brandon is the anime guy.
Brandon is the man for that. Yeah.
You know, and they even have me saying, you know what, just leave anime alone. Don't touch it.
This is it. I mean, even the Japanese studios are basically saying, Hollywood, we're laughing at you. You can't do it. You know, it's just give up.
You know, you screwed up Cowboy Bebop, which you would have to be a complete and utter moron to screw that up. They screwed that up. Like, and they screwed up Death Note. And they
terribly as well. Same studio as well. Netflix.
You know,
fucking Netflix.
You know, like I don't know anything about One Piece.
One Piece. I'm not big on One Piece. I know of the character, but I haven't really. I didn't get into it. Like, again, I struggle to get into like the anime series sometimes because they're very long-winded. Very long-winded.
Agreed. But you know, my point is, I know One Piece has its fans, but if Netflix came out and said, okay, or somebody or Amazon or somebody came out and said, okay, we're going to make a live action One Piece, and And then they every step of the way went, this is who we're going to cast. Look at the sets that we're building. And they get everything exactly right. And they make something great out of it.
That would be good.
I mean, that would be a good step in the right direction. Hey, we're not going to shit on the fans. We are going to respect the source material. We're going to cast it the right way. We're going to do this, that, and the other thing. We're going to throw everything. We're going to throw 100%. We are 100% behind the fans. We're going to make a movie the fans want to see. We're going to make something that's going to be respectful.
Yeah,
that would be great. That would be a step in the right direction. If
we have had an example of that
just
recent years, Paramount with Sonic.
Yeah, exactly. They put out a trailer. People said, "This is what we have some issues with this."
Yeah,
and you said, "Hey, you know what? You're right. We can make this better." And they went back and they did exactly that, and the movie was a hit.
Yep, because it worked, because it's what the fans wanted. So,
I mean, and I'm not saying that it, and I don't want it to say every movie has to be fan service. No, because I don't want that either. But there is a way to do a respectful adaptation. And the people behind Sonic did it the right way.
Yeah. It's like
the people who are doing Cobra Kai are doing it the right way.
Yes.
And that's all you have to do. Take the cues from the people who did Sonic and Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
And
Ghostbusters as well, to a degree.
And Ghostbusters. I keep forgetting Ghostbusters for some reason. But
it's like there was all that stuff there for the fans of the franchise, but it was also telling a new story about a new family and everything else. So
right.
It can be done. It's proven it can be done. It's like, and like I say, that you would have thought Hollywood would have learnt the lesson by now, but there's some fucking morons in sitting in executive chairs in Hollywood at the moment. Hey ho! All right. Okay. Right then.
I went off on a rant there. But
yes, I was going to say we proper. Right then. Before we finally finish the show off, because we've been going for nearly 2.5 hours. It's a good one today. So have you got any final thoughts you want to add today, Stephen?
Final thoughts. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're seeing some things out of it looks like Christopher Nolan might save us with Oppenheimer. We've got this Disney animated science fiction pulp adventure movie that looks good.
Something to look forward to.
2022 is going to be an interesting year in film. We're going to see if Hollywood can get back to work and start giving us some real movies again.
Yeah, get a calendar, people. Invest in a calendar, start marking dates. I think that's the best thing for 2022. Have you got anything else coming up this week then, dude? Anything else you got planned?
Yes. I'm going to be appearing tonight on Rambling Canucks Karaoke Saturday night. That will be at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. My pal Jedi Bill 797 is going to be doing a watch along tomorrow afternoon. And he is going to be showing the 1960 Magnificent Seven.
Oh, cool! Classic.
So, keep up with me on Twitter. Deleted_scenes1 and you'll be seeing what I'm going to be up to.
Nice. There we go. Jump on the social medias, people. Give Stephen a follow. There we go. Yeah, and be sure to check out Oh, any word on our friends who are self-funding the film?
Yes. They made their goal,
Way!
but there was a bit of a snafu with Indiegogo that I don't know the entire story on just right now, so I'm not going to go into it here. But let's just say they had made it. They made it with a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah.
There was a bit of a hiccup, but they are going to go on with the movie. They are still in pre-production, so everything is. They hit a bump in the road, as productions do.
This is a common thing in filmmaking,
you know. But they are going to get this. They are fighting tooth and nail to get this movie made, and
they deserve it.
And,
they deserve it.
They do deserve it, and
they deserve to get it made.
And to let everyone know, I am a credited producer on this movie, so that's part of why I've been playing it up. But full disclosure, I do have a little bit of a stake in this, and
we know. Don't worry about the bias here, people. Definitely support indie film anyway.
we really do need to support indie film right now, because that's independent film is the saving grace right now.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
especially considering, because we keep seeing that Hollywood likes to shit on us.
And plus, this is an original. It's not a franchise. It's not a sequel. It's not a superhero film.
Fresh IP.
It's a fresh IP, and it's being made with love by people who really care for it.
Nice, genuine fans of film. Okay, buddy, calm down. All right, sorry, I've got a dog going mental down
here. Yeah.
Cool. All right, and so right, so is that your final thoughts?
Right. You go to maketransient.com and see the latest on how the film's going.
There we go. Be sure to follow along with that story, people, because yes, like I say, it'll be good if it gets made. Buddy, get off, dude. Okay. Goddamn dog's trying to steal the show. Okay. But okay then. So so be sure to follow Stephen on the social medias and help out the boys over at Make Transient. Was it Make Transient Happen?
Night.
Yep, and Bad Movie Night.
Transient.
Give them a follow.
.com.
Yep, they are on
give
Twitter
them a
as
follow.
well, so you can find them. With regards to myself, still got the dad jokes. Advent calendar season, yay! Hopefully going to try and get my ass to see Spider-Man, because I've got to see it. So I'll be doing a review of that. More vlogs coming with regards to the America trip. Some interesting developments going on there, actually. So watch this space for more on that one if you want to follow along on mine and my lovely lady's journey. And obviously we shall be back next Saturday for more Saturday Serial with myself and Deleted Scene Stephen. So that's it really. I hope everybody's enjoying the festive season so far, because it's getting closer. We're nearly halfway through. Nearly. Are you trying to add one final thought here, buddy? Okay, yes. So, okay then. So I think that's it then, Stephen. Are you all good? Anything final before I say goodbye?
Yeah, that's all good.
Lovely. Okay then, people. Well, thank you for joining us. It's goodbye from me. And I'm sure it's a goodbye from everybody else. Where I've lost my thing now. There it is. I've lost the outro. I found the outro. Okay, right then. That's the end of the randomness. Bye!
Peppy, what the fuck are you doing?